Heyo, Spaghetti-O, Cap here. I wanted to do a video, and so I'm making one. This isn't a video about a VOD review or anything like that. I just actually wanted to make a video about commentary in the scene. I know a lot of people, you know, encourage commentary from everybody, and for a lot of people it's been a way for them to come out of their shell, and this is sort of a disclaimer at the start of the video that I'm not trying to discourage that. I think people should jump on commentary even if they have no experience. I feel like people should really open up and try new things and put themselves in social situations that they may not be comfortable with, especially in the Smash scene, because I feel like that's a great way to develop your social skills if you're not well equipped. A little bit about me for this video is that I'm probably pretty trash at Smash, but I've always been alright at commentary, and I'm pretty proud of how I do a commentary sometimes. I'm always looking to improve, and it's something I'm probably better at than with than Smash, like as a player. So I do commentary on the tournaments I go to for Tournamenta, mostly for, Friday Night Smash, QT Smash, sometimes Couch Warriors, Ranbat, stuff like that. I've only done one Ultimate one so far, so I guess I can't really give tips about Ultimate details or analysis or anything like that because I'm a little experienced in that. But I can give tips about what makes good commentary, I think, and how you can create your own style that's good on the mic and make it really entertaining, even at a really high level that you may or may not be on. So first of all, I wanted to talk about something that's really apparent for a lot of new commentators, something that's like completely obvious the first time anyone ever gets on, is that either they're nervous, right, or a lot of players have struggles because they immediately, surround the commentary about themselves, which is just a natural thing that people do in conversation. You might think, oh, well, I don't really talk about myself on commentary, and I'm the first one to admit that I do. Sometimes the first time I will ever jump on, I'll just talk about stuff that I want to talk about, or I'll just start talking about how my day was or anything like that. And in a lot of situations, it's actually acceptable. But one thing you do have to remember is that while you can do this and still have good commentary, you really need to make the set about the people there, especially if it's like, if there's a set that's gone to game 5 and you're still talking about like Starburst lollies or like how your set was and how you're feeling with your day, if it's not relevant to what's going on in front of you, I feel like you're making a mistake. And I feel like it becomes really apparent. Like, it's not that that's bad commentary and what you're talking about isn't bad, right? But if you're not even making jokes or talking about what's happening on the screen, it's sort of like, why am I listening to you if there is something that's actually hype or interesting going on in screen? You're missing out on a potential thing to talk about that's right in front of you. And it doesn't have to be super serious, especially if the context isn't super serious, but at least make the jokes and stuff for what you're talking about in front of you. And that leads into my second thing, which is, again, about making the set or what you're commentating on about the players there, which is don't bring negativity or negative sort of thoughts about the game into your commentary, especially when you have another commentator next to you who is liable to continue that trend of negative thoughts. Because if you're feeling negative and you're not enjoying the game and you want to complain about it, chances are everybody in chat and the players looking back on it are going to feel the exact same way. And when you come out of a negative mood and you're like, wow, now I'm no longer negative, are you like, but I really liked being negative, I really liked not enjoying stuff and complaining about stuff? No. Well, some people like complaining, but I think that's different to being in a completely negative mindset. Like, nobody enjoys being really upset about anything. And when you spread that to other people, it doesn't make an entertaining experience, it doesn't make a rewarding community building experience with the players, and it just turns people off of the stream. They'll be like, why don't I just watch something that's more casual where people are having fun, right? So I think you're isolating a huge amount of the audience by doing that. Second thing, or sorry, the third thing to do with um, talking about the players is try not to denounce skill. I feel like this is sort of something to do with negativity. It's very related, but it happens quite often that people will talk about a character in a way that's not a positive light. And you can have your own problems with the character, but I think that can explode outward kind of rapidly to the point that people are more willing to talk about somebody not being good enough, or that they're carried by a character, or imply that this character is carrying them and that they're actually not good at the game. And that's, you know, a funny joke for people between friends and stuff like that. And if you've communicated that you don't actually think that with the person, it can be all right. But especially when someone's put in a lot of hard work and they've reached a far level point in the tournament, like grand finals or something, that it is really disrespectful. And you may not think so, but especially if that player communicates with you, hey, I really didn't appreciate that, or, you know, it made me feel like shit. You kind of have to do something about that. That isn't continue to complain. And, you know, that's not a huge problem in the scene or anything like that. And I think a lot of people understand that immediately, and they know that this is not what, you know, what they're trying to get with their commentary, and then they actually have more of a better style. But again, you're creating, like, deliberate, or not deliberate, but like you're creating riffs that aren't necessary, and also don't deliver much to the commentary. Because as well, if you complain about a character to complain about skin, or the skill, you're kind of taking away from the storylines that you create in a tournament arc. You know, like you can talk about, for instance, this match we're watching right now, Ouch, who I initially complained about or talked about his weaknesses and advantages as much as possible, but it was a lot more entertaining to talk about how far he'd come in tournament. And I stopped talking about what he was doing negatively or what he could improve on, and I started talking about how amazing he'd gotten there. And I feel like that was a lot more of a entertaining experience for people who were in the chat as well as people watching back. You know, I feel like, well, this is what I feel like. I gotta say. Um, Again, you can disagree with me. I want to put that disclaimer down, but it is the difference between being fun and creating a genuine experience on the stream. Being fun can sort of be like complaining and talking smack and having fun with your friends in a jovial way, but creating a storyline. Like, Ouch is obviously a very friendly guy, and he probably wouldn't take offense to me saying that he was weak in the disadvantage, but it's a lot better to make a storyline out of it. Anyways, I'll move on to the next point so we don't continue to ramble. The third one is, don't be boring or don't be bored. This is the biggest problem I have right now, because we're in Ultimate, right? And I am so hyped for Ultimate. I don't care what you think, if you think it's bad or good. If you think it's bad and you want to jump on commentary with, you know, the beginnings of a scene where everyone's got the game and they're really interested in it, and we've got people from outside of the game looking in, and you're going to talk on commentary like you're bored or you don't like Spacie matchups. Christ, what are you doing? Like, it's not your stream and it's not your responsibility. This is the biggest pet peeve I have, where you can be like, okay, well, it's boring for me, therefore everyone else gets to experience my boredom. If you're bored by the set, jump off of commentary, because it's not your job to be bored, alright? If you watch any set, even the most spacey, boring matchups you can think about, people will make interesting, even in an entertaining way. I mean, one of the most iconic moments in Smash 4 is when we had those custom moves and the two Sonics jumped on board, right? And they started spin dashing each other, and they just started charging spin dash. That was the start of the set. That was entertaining. Everyone loved that. And then you got number two, right? The Bayonetta Evo moment. Probably one of the most embarrassing moments of Smash 4. But if you actually look at what the commentators and the surrounding people are doing, they're doing the absolute best to make it entertaining. And it's working, right? It's iconic because of how the commentators treat it. Right? They're not saying, well, this is terrible, this is boring, this is no good. They're laughing about it. They're talking about it. They get people on stage to talk to the players. That stuff is brilliant. You know what's not brilliant? You're going, oh, people who shoot projectiles. I'm bored. This is going to be nothing but camping. I'm sorry, but that is awful, right? If you don't have anything to say about the matchup as well, just don't talk about the matchup, all right? Even if it is completely boring, it is slightly better if you just talk about something else, all right? If you don't know what, here's a free tip, right? Since I want to try and improve people's commentary. If you don't know much about the matchup, or if you're bored, stop being an aggressive or front commentator, right? Front commentators or aggressive commentators, for me, are people who like to take the lead in commentary. It's a very common thing for people who are actually quite good at commentary, because they'll get on and someone next to them will be nervous or quiet, and they'll be enjoying a set, and they'll start take the lead, and they feel really good about their commentary, because it was probably pretty good because they were into it and entertained. See how we've got a recurring theme here? Right? So and then in response to that, they like to take the lead every time they're on. But when they get into a set that they're bored of, right, they still try and take the lead. But instead of taking the lead and making it exciting, they take the lead and make it boring. And it's a terrible thing if you're watching a stream and somebody who's doing the stuff right in front of you is bored. That's not entertaining. And the object of being on stream is to try and be, at least in some way, entertaining or informative or educational. But if you're bored, you're probably not that either. All right. But yeah, if you're on with somebody else and you can be inquisitive and talk to them about what they think, you can at least take your boredom out of it and get somebody else talking about it. If they're bored as well and you notice that, like, just try and be positive or jump off in the next game and get somebody who likes Spacie matchups on comms, all right? Because you're all working together. Personally, look at this set. This set is 28 minutes, and the one I've got lined up next was 27 minutes. I commentated all of these straight, right? I just kept going with these ones. And yeah, I had a storyline behind me, but at the same time, everyone who's probably sitting and watching this video right now, they're like, oh, if I had the Ouch storyline, I would have been really epic. I would have been super hype. I would have been amazing. You know, it was all done for me because Ouch made the losers run. No, incorrect. All right. As commentators, we make Ouch the storyline. As a commentator, every single time I jump on comms, I make sure I talk about the players. I make sure I know about the players. I make sure that even if they're just throwing projectiles at them, Call of Duty, the new installment, whatever, right? I talk about who they are. I make storylines, right? This comes into the final part of the commentary, which I want to talk about, is really understand your style. Because I feel like the biggest problem, that's sort of like the underlying problem of all these like issues that I see in the scene right now with commentary, is that people just don't know their style, right? If people want to talk in an aggressive and exciting and hype manner, and they're the hype dude, and like people pop off in the chat, then that's what you do, right? But you find out after that how you can make it work consistently, right? So personally, my style is I like to get interested in the players. I do some other stuff with analysis and jokes. But my biggest thing that I'm most proud of is that I learn about all these different players and I try and take some like previous history about how they play, how they placed, what their character preferences are, what kind of style they incorporate in their play, all of that. I try and incorporate it into my commentary, right? And I can confidently say that I'm more of an aggressive commentator, and that's sometimes a bad thing. I admit, I look back on my commentary and I say, I should have let this person talk more, or I should have listened to this person more. Sometimes I'm just in my own zone, right? But at the same time, I look at other people's commentary styles and I see so much clashing. You know what the best commentator in the world is going to be? It's going to be a supportive commentator who can work with literally everybody. Because they can work with literally everybody and still be entertaining. So you might think, yeah, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to take charge every single time. But you got to understand that sometimes that's not necessary. And being a supportive commentator is also required. If you're like somebody like, I'll give an example, like I think Scar in commentary on Melee is just constantly an aggressive, assertive commentator. There's never really a point where I go, he's super assertive. But even if you watch him with other people, he still edits his style so that he is more of himself, but in an entertaining way, no matter who he's with. If he's with Blur, for instance, right, you're not going to see the kind of commentary level, high level that you get with Scar and Toph, like the perfect conjoinment of commentators, in my opinion. But you'll still see like bloody entertaining commentary that's like insightful or just funny or even hype sometimes, right? Like this is the kind of stuff I feel like people need to aspire for if they want to take their commentary seriously. If you don't want to take it seriously, fine, dude. But like honestly, I feel like you're wasting some of the spotlight that Ultimate has and Smash has as a community right now. Because I guarantee you, like, we're going to keep playing Smash, this level of popularity is not going to continue, alright? As much as we all want Smash to be the biggest fighting game in the world, and it's going to be entertaining and fantastic, right? Eventually, numbers will reach a point where they do dwindle. And maybe that's not permanent. You know, maybe Smash Ultimate is kind of like Melee, where it'll have constant resurgences and it's just one of the good installments and we'll keep it around for ages. But Smash 4 is dead and Brawl is dead, and towards the end they weren't exactly like as thriving as they were in their heyday. There's always a prime. And I reckon the prime for Ultimate is, at least at this point in comparison to Smash 4, right now. So make the most of it. Don't waste it by trying to be negative and boring and conflictual with your other co-commentator. Conflictual is not a word, but you get what I'm saying, all right? And I'll probably say one more thing, which is if you're looking to improve your commentary, I think you have to ask for advice from people. You don't have to ask from me. Asking from your close friends is a good idea if you just want honesty. See, how did I do on that one? How can I improve? I'll always be willing to give you tips if you do ask me. If you're in the Queensland scene or otherwise, I watch your sets. I love watching commentary and helping people as much as possible. But the biggest thing I'd say is learn who you work with best, right? Like, if you know that with somebody who you think is boring, don't jump on commentary with them. Jump on commentary with someone who you love and always have a good time with, right? Someone who thinks like you. Because even if you're negative about the game in that sense, at least you can be having fun while you're negative, and it's slightly more entertaining because somebody else is jamming with you, right? But just please keep in mind the players come first, then come the stream, and then finally come the you, right? And how you feel as a commentator. It's a third priority, and that's just the nature of like the position and the role, right? If you're not being looked after as a commentator in terms of how you feel and how you're respected, that's just part of the game, because you're not at a super high level at this point. And commentary, especially for the Australian scene, is very much just like whoever jumps on the mic. So if you're looking around like, oh man, like I don't know if I want to follow these rules. I feel like I want to talk about myself on the mic. I just want to talk about funny stuff or whatever that comes to my mind. It's just not how it's done. I'm sorry if somebody disagrees with me and they're like, oh, what the hell are you talking about? Look, this isn't like the Brobel for a commentary and that you have to follow it no matter what and you're wrong. Fuck you. This is not how it is. It's just what I believe, and if you disagree with me on that, look, I don't give a shit. You can do commentary any way you want. I hardly show up to tournaments. I missed like a week this time, and who knows if I'll show up to the next week. But just try and take some of what I say on board, maybe, because I feel like there are some legitimate tips on how people can improve in this video, and I just feel like maybe we can continue to improve, and then maybe if we continue to grow as a scene, you know, we won't have to do things like make sure that there are only certain commentators who jump on stream, because I feel like that's eventually what it'll come to. Because believe me when I say, right, when I see that there's negative commentary and that I think there's not a great commentary on, I'm not alone. And if you're thinking, well, I don't know what I'm talking about, then just wait till we have rules where only certain commentators can jump on. Then you're gonna have to believe me, because I swear to God, it will be coming if, I'm sorry, crappy commentary continues on stream. And I hate to be so negative and push people down, but I'm trying to say that there's nobody in particular who's doing this, and if you think it's yourself, just run it by me, and I'll tell you if I think your commentary's been crappy or not, right? Chances are it's not, and even if you are a fantastic commentator, I'll still have tips about what I think we can do as either a commentary duo or as what you can do on commentary to sort of refine your style and make yourself more of yourself on stream, if that makes sense. Anyways, this has been Cap. This is how to do better commentary. I love you all. Um, yeah. Smash Ultimate's so hyped, dude. I love it. And God bless Meta Knight mains and Inkling mains. Alright, peace out, boobies.